All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Toon Kind at 12 frames per second. I'm Kraken. This is Mending a Hand. Whose hand? Craigory's hand. Wow. Who's mending the hand?
Hello, I'm the one mending the hand. I am the jazziest AAA battery this side of the county line, or just Jazz for short. And like I said, I'm the one mending the hand. This is a promise I have made in chat, and it is one I have intended to fulfill, and here I am fulfilling it. I'm getting Craiger to stop up his fucking arm.
I should have looked up the how long it was ago that you first proposed this scenario. It's gotta at least be approaching 6 months at minimum.
I can try to check while we're starting this up.
Oh dear.
While I'm
I want to say it was like June. It was around there. And now we're in November.
While I'm bungling around in the chat search function. As for Craigory, I'm assuming, of course, but you're allowed to say something different. At the moment, I'm just assuming that things have happened. You don't really want your hand to be the way it is anymore.
No.
And you started looking for other ways that didn't involve,
Yeah, he's been doing some looking on the sly.
yeah. Which takes you to about, oh, it was RJ doing the thing. Anyway. The message RJ found is in April. Mid-April.
Ha!
So, there we go. Anyway, back to our game. You've been looking around for other ways to have your hand not be the way that it is. And it's led you to this corner of, we'll just say Toontown for ease of access. It's generic Toontown, that's the point.
I mean, this is already a lot better than other places he's been for hand-related stuff.
Yeah, just a little better. Like, a main street of Toontown, just coming out here. Probably a lot better than back alley dealings with questionable. Well, you were here in this corner. You have heard that there is a person in this area of town who specializes in just kind of tinkering various devices, and you're like, this is probably a decent place to start. And I think, you're allowed to. Have you previously tried to, like, contact the person specifically, or are you just kind of showing up?
You know what? For fun, I feel like it's just kind of a showing up, scouting out.
This is your first time in this area of town. You're not quite sure who it is.
Yeah, no. You know, best decisions only from this wizard.
Yeah.
I will say also, just because I know this will make you so mad, Craiger's not actually wearing his glove.
God, of course. God.
The sleeves just kind of been knotted up to catch the slow drip drip. So the shirt there it's kind of gray.
Oh boy. Of course. Craigory has his life together, doesn't he?
Anyway.
Well, wandering around, looking. Actually, you know what? Just let's start off well. Let's just go for perception.
Good oh hell yeah! Flat 0.
Good way to start. Just.
That's all right. Nat 20 right there.
Yeah. All right. So with a nat 20, so there's a little coffee shop right next to right on the street you're at. The guy sitting at a table. He's got something, like, he has his drink, of course, but on the table he also has some sort of device he's tinkering with, and he's got, like, an overlay thing on his eye, so you can tell that, oh, this is a techie dude. Like, he might...
Techie dudes know techie dudes.
Yeah.
Of course.
He might be someone you'd like to talk to. How do you approach him? Because I know this is Craigory.
The mortal ordeal of social interaction.
How does Craigory go about social interaction?
Poorly historically, but...
Gee, I never noticed.
Oh, man. He didn't think this through. He thought he just... Hey. Walks up to the table of this mystery tinkerer, and is just going to stand a bit back, clear his throat, just go, hi, morning? Hi.
Morning. What do you need?
Just, look, I'm noticing you're working on something that's kind of like, techie there. I don't know the words. Point is, oh wow, this is, this is like people asking me if I know who every wizard is. But the point is, I'm looking for someone around this area who, like, specializes in prosthetics, and I thought you might maybe know.
If it's who I'm thinking of, then you're looking at him.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
That's really convenient. Hi.
He just kind of chuckles, goes hello, drops what he's doing.
Name's Craigory. That's probably important.
I'm Alex, by the way.
Alex. Okay. Hi. Nice to hijack your morning just a little bit, maybe.
I wasn't doing anything anyway.
I cast a glance at, the project he'd clearly been tinkering on.
This is just to pass the time, and he just kind of gathers various parts and things, puts them in the bag. If you'd like, at the moment, since you're now, I'm assuming, sitting, talking to him at the moment, you can roll either just kind of generalized perception / investigation at him, if you're trying to figure out his deal. You can also roll history, if you'd like. You know what that's for. You don't have to.
I'm gonna go investigation, partially because funny, partially because that is the best stat to work with here.
Not. Yes.
Yeah, take a 14.
A 14. Okay. With a 14, you're looking at him. Walking up, you kind of gathered... You definitely saw Toon vibes, just because of, vibrant colors generally tends to portray certain things. But now that you're looking at him up close, he's not entirely that. You're looking at him, and it's like... there are Toon aspects, definitely. But the more you look at him, the more you realize it's kind of nebulous. You're not quite sure. Because it's a 14, so it's not, like, specific.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he's not... You don't think he's entirely Toon. Despite the whole, bright blue.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think Craigory's met what he thinks might be a half-Toon, but also, Craigory minds his own business.
Since when? Bruh.
He thinks he's already being incredibly rude right now. So for the moment, he just doesn't ask any specific questions on that.
Um, I'm sorry. You saying Craigory minds his business has made me fucking lose it.
You're right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Once again, Craigory entirely believes this is a true statement of fact about himself.
Okay.
Uh,
You said you were looking for prosthetics, right? I'm assuming it's about that. Of course, he gestures to the tied up sleeve.
yeah, that. And on cue, there is a drip of gray ink that leaks out of the fabric, just goes to the ground, just like, yeah.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, it's fine. I already built my own solution technically, but due to a number of factors, I don't want to be using that. So, looking into other options.
What were you using before? He's asking innocently, but
Well, out of hammerspace, it just kind of gets shaken out of the sleeve of his left arm. And just there's now a red glove laid out on the table.
He would like to pick up the glove
Mm-hmm.
and investigate it, if you'll let me.
Yeah, absolutely. Craigory's, free for inspection.
18.
Hey. So, is that investigation or?
Investigation.
Hey. This thing is very magic.
Yeah.
It's like, it like almost buzzes in Alex's fingertips. Just because this thing is so stuffed to the brim with magic, Alex would get the impression that that's how it functions, really. It's just stuffed full of construction, like clearly handmade. It looks to be like a size match for the flesh? Do tunes have flesh? Real? Hand? The real questions. With an 18, Azure would note that the fabric seems pretty normal. It's maybe dyed. It's kind of the stitching that's more interesting. It doesn't look like thread.
Can he tell what it is with an 18 or?
I'm gonna say with an 18, there's it might take a moment. Click, yeah. Outline.
Huh. Well, that's certainly something I've never seen before. The stitching here, it's outline, right?
Yeah.
How exactly did you do that?
This particular glove's a little different. I tried something different with this one, but usually it came from me.
At that moment, he just kind of blinks like, what?
Completely normal and non-concerning statements.
You.
Yeah.
That doesn't... Well, I can see why you're looking for something else. Anyway.
Alex could roll inside it. Alex could roll inside if he likes.
Insight?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Use... where's the thing? I'm going to look this fucking thing up. God damn it. Okay, it is. Uh, we'll just see if this succeeds at the moment. He has the empathic feat, so
Oh.
there's another thing he can do where it's wisdom versus deception, and if he succeeds, it's he gets like advantage on any ability checks against you. But that's for like the turn, so it's the weird thing, nebulous. But I'll just roll a regular insight at the moment, and that's a 2, so no. He's more concerned with, hey, wait.
Yeah, you know, for all intents and purposes, Craigory seems to agree exactly with your statement.
Well, if it's something new you're looking for, then I might be able to help you out. Uh, I'm not gonna have you untie that at the moment. But depending on the state of it, it might take a few modifications. I might have to fit you with one thing now and then change it later. It all depends. With tunes, there's a lot of things that can change. But anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, and he gets up from the table and he invites you. You can come with me if you want.
Yeah.
All right. So he starts leading you away. For shits and giggles, would you like to roll, history?
Mm-hmm.
For this specific moment.
Maybe double check the modifier. Yep.
You can call me Azure, by the way. He calls as we walk along.
All right. Well, with that name and a 10 history.
A 10.
Yeah.
There's something familiar once he says his name.
There's something twigging.
Yep.
It hasn't got it.
Not quite sure. This is a different thing. So you can't quite get it. But as soon as he says, "Oh, call me Azure," something in your head is definitely, "Hey, wait. Have I heard that before?"
Maybe. Well, if it's not coming to him, Craigory's going to put it out of his mind for now and just go, yeah, okay, Azure it is.
Right.
Kind of appropriate. Is that a nickname or?
Yeah, you could say it. I trailed off at the end. You could say that is what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And as we walk along, I think if Craigory is just going to stay silent, unless he has any other specific questions you'd like to ask at the moment.
I'm like in my head debating, just how nosy does he get?
Yeah. How nosy does he get?
Visualizing in my head, so Azure's pretty blue. Does that include hair?
Yes. He has, he doesn't blue hair. At the moment, his outfit is a white hoodie with bright blue accents, and he's wearing jeans and kind of also white and blue sneakers. As you were looking at him at the words, the coffee shop table, his eyes have like signature kind of like star shine to them. You know how eyes shine, sometimes it'll be like shapes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
His is meant to be his is shaped like a star, and he has incredibly bright blue hair, and it like swoops up in the front, like it's very clearly tunishly shaped.
Yeah. It's like tuna shape, but also there's just like there's real kind of stuff going on here. So Craigory's nosy question is so is the hair a natural color or?
It is. Born blue. Through and through. Same with the eyes too. And he'll turn around and look up, and
Sparkle,
you can
sparkle.
see, like, yeah, they just naturally like sparkle and shine like that.
It's very anime in my head right now.
Not entirely wrong.
Oh dear. And Craigory just goes, okay, I'm sorry, this is gonna be rude. This is gonna be rude. Alright,
It's fine. Spit it out. Come on.
Well, if I just say, what are you, it sounds really bad.
And he literally just laughs like that. He's just amused. Half tune. Human, other half.
Okay.
And at that, I think he's actually just gonna like pull his arm out for Cricket to see. And if you're looking at it up close, it's part real kind, part CG tune. So he's entirely 3-dimensional. But when you're looking at it, and I don't know if Craigory would like grab his arm after Craigory.
I don't know about grab, but an arm is being offered. He's gonna poke.
Yeah. Poking it. So this is like in my head. There's like obviously you can still feel the life in a tune versus real kind, but you poke it, and you feel like warmth from real kind as opposed to like when you touch a tune, it's still warm, but they're beings of magic,
Mm-hmm.
So it's still same sensation, but also slightly different. And you touch him, and it's like, just like a mixture. So it's just kind of, and because the tune part is CG, it's still just entirely solid.
Certainly interesting is what it is.
It's interesting. If you do nothing further, he just takes his arm back. I had something I was gonna say and I lost it. Fuck!
Think I will state, for the record, yes, Craigory is once again going to a secondary location with a stranger. Yes, he has told Pip where he's going.
Thank God. One step in the right direction. At least
He's improving.
At least this time, the guy taking him to a secondary location very much not plotting his downfall.
This is good vibes.
He's straight up. You're looking at this guy. He's not threatening. He just has the doofy smile on his face. He's got sparkling eyes. He's not very threatening in any capacity. Too anime. He's walking along and leads you along. My house should be right around the corner. Here we are. And Craigory, in front of you is a fucking mega mansion. You are at the front gates of a giant mansion.
Jazz, the way you've described it is just you're on a regular street, you turn the corner,
Yep.
and there's suddenly this mansion you didn't perceive taking up so much space.
Yes, absolutely. I was trying to figure out a way to like fit this in a certain environment, and then I realized no, this is funnier, and it's meant to be Toon anyway. Like the house itself is more Toony, Toon environment. I feel like this fits.
Yeah, it really does. It's just suddenly mansion.
That's a gag in shows. You cannot tell me you've never seen that gag in a show before. Walking on a normal street and suddenly fucking big ass goddamn building that you didn't see before.
Yeah, exactly. Craigory even jumps a bit because it's just like, all of this sudden in his perception.
Yeah. There's like a front gate. Um, Behind the gate, you can see there's a large garden. From where you are, so the mansion itself is actually like up on a hill. So you can see like a path that splits out. Um, and it's a bit further up the hill, but there is a giant fountain. It is, it is on. It is doing different uh, patterns and everything.
Do you live here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going for the gate doesn't have a lock. Instead, he just kind of goes to the side, um, and it's a scanner. It's a scanner. Um, he puts his hand on it and looks into it. Then the gate just slides open.
Well, all right. This is all very fancy. This might not quite what he was expecting. Oh well. In for a penny, in for a pound.
I know it's a lot, but I need a lot of space, and this was I needed a really large building to house all my things, and this was the closest thing I could find on such short notice.
I mean, no, not you do you. I mean, my place could probably use a bit more space.
Could always expand what you have. That'd be a fun project. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Azure could also roll insight on that if he liked.
You can. All right.
But in the meantime, Craigory's just following into McMansion.
Yep. Big ass McMansion.
That he's very much definitely going to get lost in, I'm saying right now.
That was a 9, so I'm assuming no.
Once again, Azure's not really paying much attention. Just Azure's forging forward.
He's thinking.
But,
Thinking.
the camera would be able to catch this sort of weird look that passes over Craigory's face in the comment of, like, just renovate your space.
Well, he's gonna say, you could renovate, or you could find somewhere new. It doesn't matter. It is actually a decently long walk up. This is a very large yard. But you do, eventually. There's not... It's actually... I'm trying to... Words. There are a lot of different side paths, and there's a couple things growing along. But for the most part, it's kind of a lot of empty space. But once you're closer to the door, I will say that fountain is a lot larger than it looked from the bottom of the hill.
Craigory suddenly quite glad he doesn't have Boomer with him because he knows that kid would be in the fountain right now.
Now you're closer to the fountain. It's daytime, so you couldn't see it from the bottom of the hill. But now that you're up close, there are lights at the bottom of the fountain. You would imagine this looks very, very funky at nighttime.
He has a sneaking suspicion the lights are blue and white.
There is a blue underlight, but it's actually like a bunch of different colors. I'm not gonna make you roll for this since it's nothing important, but the lights come in different colors and the water moves in different ways. So if you look, it's harder to see in the daytime, but you can tell how the different colors were like different streams of water, and they'd intertwine and splash around and everything like that.
Very elaborate.
Yep. It's funky looking. Went past the fountain. You go to the front door. The front door doesn't have, it's a very large door. but it doesn't have the same security as the gate did. You just kind of opens it. Come on inside then.
Yeah, will do.
Um,
He's going inside, he's looking around, he's snooping with his eyeballs. What?
you enter into what would you expect? What would you expect from a mega mansion? Like an elaborate foyer, depending
Oh,
on.
there's a chandelier, there's like, a double staircase across the other way. That's the sort of thing Craigory. He's half
You get none
expecting
of
that and half expecting the place to be absolutely cluttered with machinery. He isn't sure
You get
which will be
You
true.
get neither of those. Neither of those. You step in and you are suddenly in one very, very large chamber, the bottom of which is decked out in a nightclub dance floor. Uh, like, this entire area has just basically been converted into a club. There are lights, there are speakers, there are mounts for various fog machines, there is a large stage near the back. It is a sight, to be sure. Nothing is on at the moment, but
Blink, blink, squint. What?
what?
Just not quite what I was expecting, but is this what you meant when you said you needed space?
I needed space for the workshop, but the extra space I converted into this. I hold parties here every so often. You can come to one if you want. There's no like admission or anything.
Yeah, might take you up on that then.
Sweet. Anyway, should be. You can come this way. And he leads you to a room, or not a room, but just around the dance floor. Into a different area. You do have to walk another distance, so if Craigory ends up falling behind and or snooping, you can try to do that now. Because it is a long walk, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, he's snooping.
He's snooping.
All
right.
He's looking. He's doing that investigation.
Investigation or perception at your whims.
12. There's a lot to look at. He's just not focusing on one thing. He's trying to get like a sweeping generalization.
It's not what you see at first. It's what you hear. You can hear music coming from a different hallway. It's you can't hear it that well, but you can definitely hear it. As you look down the hallway, though, something just kind of rolls out in front of you, and I have to find. I knew I was missing something. You see one of fine thing. You see something with a design akin to. How do I want it load? There we go. Okay, thank God. See something like this, and it just kind of rolls out near you, and it's plucking away the strings. And it rolls past, and you hear the music kind of stop, and it goes back to where it came from, except this time it has a bit of. You can't tell what it is. It's some sort of techie thing, but it's carrying it somewhere else. So you notice that.
Yeah, he sure does. You know what? You know what? He's gotten used to seeing weird gizmo thingies from Boomer. This is less surprising than it could be, even though the construction is still... It's a very different style from Boomer.
I can imagine. Does she do anything with that, or does she just kind of...
Just kind of watches this thing, disappear to wherever it's going. Just goes, what exactly was that?
I feel like Azure probably walked ahead, not thinking about it, and he just
Yeah.
kind of looks back. And, oh, they help out around the house. It's a very large building, in case you hadn't noticed, and I have only one me, so helps have a few things that clean around, especially when I leave things in the wrong room. But anyway, sorry it's such a long walk. I had to organize everything to where people coming to dance wouldn't wander into other areas of the house, so the workshop's at, like, the back end.
Yeah,
My bad.
makes sense.
And you can continue following him.
Yeah, he's gonna do that. He's just, gonna comment, yeah, I would not want a bunch of strangers potentially walking into my workspace either.
That's a valid concern to have. Sometimes things happen, Anyway, it's less that I don't want anyone else in there, for not trustworthy. There's just a lot of stuff,
I mean, if they don't know what something is, then just things get messy.
Yeah. I will say, after you notice the thing roll off, you've just continuously heard various, music just playing throughout the house. You don't know where it's coming from. It's there. It's just very faint in the background. And as you walk along, you wind through more hallways. You probably notice another robot or two. They don't all look like that, but there's just various kinds of robots cleaning around, moving stuff around.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. And you come along to another door. This one had the mansion itself, for the most part, was very tunishly kind of all ornate and everything, and there's just tech parts just integrated into it, So it's a similar thing. This room just has a large metal door set into, ornate wooden wall. And for this one, and it slides open, and there's a lot of stuff in here. This room is also huge. Not as big as the main dance floor, obviously, but there are a bunch of workbenches. It's got a bunch of levels to it. There's with a ladder, multiple ladders leading to separate levels. There's various kinds of devices scattered about. You can try to figure out what any of them do if you'd like. Roll perception or investigation. If you can try, you don't have to. It depends on how nosy Craigory is being at the moment. But I'm assuming
9. He's snooping, but he knows nothing about tech.
Yeah, this is kind of out of your area of expertise. There's
There is so much going on.
There's a lot of beeping, there's a lot of wiring. You see computer chips, and you're like, what the hell? And even the bigger devices, the way they're set up to move, you cannot tell what they're supposed to be doing.
Are you sure you actually... This is a lot going on. Are you sure you actually have the time or space to be doing this? For me?
Yeah? Why wouldn't
I? Just kind of gestures widely at everything going on. Just I mean, are these all active products? Are you working on this all at once?
I go back and forth.
Just,
Focus on one thing, lose, uh, hit a roadblock on one thing, work on a different thing. That one! And he just kind of points to one of the random ones that's just, like, hanging from the ceiling. That one's one I'm working on the most at the moment. Something for upcoming event. At least I hope I'll get it ready in time. Anyway. You don't need that. You need an arm. He just kind of starts ruffling around in various cabinets. There's tunish clanging noises. He doesn't throw anything. There's not anything flying at you. You don't have to worry about that. But there are things just kind of being tossed around. Where is... Alright. And as he ruffles, like, goes through his stuff, he just kind of starts, talking to Craigory. So, depending on the specific kind of injury, I'll need to have an emitter that's set up on a power source. Depending on the injury, you'll need... God, you're leaking that. How the way from prosthetics...
You'll probably need to see what's actually going on. That's probably the fastest way to do that.
Yeah. If you would untie your...
Yeah, of course.
Sleeve. I would like to look at it, but... So...
Yeah, Craigory's doing that.
Yeah. He's got... Like, he says that, like, as he has stuff in his arm, so he just kind of stops, comes over.
Actually, Craigory pauses and is like, well, actually, hold on, do you have, like, a bowl or something?
Ow! Yeah. He just doubles around. He has a metal dish.
Yep.
This, and, he picks it up, he pulls out, like, a few screws and tosses them onto the table.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, Craigory's going to untie the sleeve, which does release a little buildup of ink, which instead of splashing onto the floor now goes neatly in the bowl, aka not really making a mess. The ink is gray. It's mostly gray, same color as, like, the skin, but there's also, it looks like a drop or two of bright red in there. But maybe more importantly for Azure, Azure can actually see what's going on with the arm.
Yeah.
And it just looks like it's faded out from kind of the mid-forearm down.
That's something I haven't seen before. How did you do this? If you don't mind my asking.
Sort of a shrug. Ink remover. Brushes that, my fault.
Alright.
It is continuing to drip. There's about, like, maybe a drip every few seconds.
He's very, like, he's straight up doing a thinking face at this at the moment. Well, normally for a lot of tunes, when they have an injury that removes a limb or whatever, their outline will close around it, and all I have to do is have something set up to continue that. You have, but yours just fades out.
Yeah, it's kind of a hole, hence leaking. The glove, actually, that's what it was for. It was basically acted as the replacement outline to patch that hole. So even though it was kind of technically floating in space, as far as the design was concerned, that closed up the gap.
Oh. So, setting up an emitter that works as a replacement outline would probably... I can set you up with something today. that will definitely work as a stopper, like a stopgap. As for something more advanced, that doesn't require near as much space, probably be a lot more comfortable. I'll try to get you something at that point, but at the moment, you just need a hand. So,
I mean, maybe bare minimum of, as you're saying, a plug for the ink, but
I can do both. It's fine. Anyway, and he just kind of plops a bunch of stuff down on the workbench. So, I'll need power source. I'll need something to keep it attached to your body. And he's just going off muttering, and here we are. And he just kind of, it's a weird disc-looking thing. It has edges that come up around it, but they're very short, and he just kind of slaps that down, and he holds that up to, the stump. Seeing how big around it is, I'll need bit. And he's just going around back and forth at the moment.
yeah. I think Craigory's just taken a seat, if there is one, holding, the arm over the bowl.
Yep.
Not, hey, Azure, not to, interrupt any thinking going on. I appreciate all this. Just, let me know what you'd like in return.
Oh, don't worry about it.
What do you mean, don't worry about it?
I mean, I don't need payment. It's fine.
You're sure? There's like a disbelieving squint.
Yeah? You need a hand? I can give you a hand. There you go.
I'm also taking time out of your day, attention away from other projects, and I just kind of showed up.
And?
And it's an inconvenience, and you deserve some kind of recompense. Like, it doesn't have to be money if you don't accept that. Like a favor? I can do you a favor.
I can see where you're coming from, but also, this is just... It's not an inconvenience. I mean, you need help. I want to help you. There you go.
I think with that, Craigory leaves it alone for now, but yeah, Azure not need to roll to get the sense that Craigory's still kind of maybe not doubtful that Azure means it, but it's just like trying to think of something to do anyway.
If Azure twigs that, he'll probably, he sighs, sets the thing he had in his hands on the counter. It's like, look, I understand that you're trying to do, equivalent exchange and everything, but honest, it's nothing. You're fine.
If you're sure.
I am sure. Now, and he, at this point, he has hooked something together. And you can see, it's like a large battery. You think the thing's on now that the wires are connected, and you can see that little disc thing you held up to your arm has it is projecting, it's not an entire hand per se, but it's words. It is a holographic hand, but it's not entirely solid. That's the and he kind of takes it over to where Craigory is sitting, and he holds it up, and so you can change the. You should be able to see. I'm going to change the size, any length, whatever, to your specifications before I attach it. And, like, that's what he does. He asks for, at the moment, it's just standard 5-fingered hand, almost.
So, what are the controls? Like, how versatile could this get?
I mean,
Just, for sheer goofs and gags or whatever.
the one I'm giving you right now, I don't think we'll be able to do a lot of that, but once I get you fitted with something, more specific to, you should be able to, the parameters there's a cutoff limit, so you won't be able to make anything too big or too small or too oddly shaped, but, other than that, you'll definitely be able to do things, you alter it as needed, move it around. You can detach uses quotes for that. It to go to a certain length if you need to. This one should be able to change color if you need it, if you'd like it to. But at the moment it just uses default, which happens to be blue for me, as in case you couldn't tell.
Blue is fine.
Alright then. And this, he pulls up, it's like a metal ring kind of thing to where Craigory's arm starts to fade.
Yeah. Yeah, Azure would be able to find, like, the, I guess, like, solid point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he holds up, like, a ring to that, and he pulls it, not too tight, but obviously to find how much around it is. Right, that, and he has to get up. So this might take a minute. You can, it shouldn't be too long. You can look around anything in the workshop if you want.
If you don't mind me poking, I might do that.
You seem like a curious guy. Now, where the hell is... And he just kind of goes back to digging around for things.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, Craiger's going to take that permission. He's going to want her taking the bull with him. He's not going to make a mess. Another drop of just, like, red ink plops in, and it's just like,
So you start wandering around. General perception, I suppose. Just to see.
He got a nat 20 on the first go, and that was it for rolls. That was it.
A 12 is fine. For shits and giggles, make me a whiz save.
Oh, good.
At the 16, you're fine. Remember how I said there was background music in this house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bass drop. And I was seeing if you got startled by the loud noise.
Does everything kind of jump in place?
Just a little. So that happened. You didn't get spooked. Probably for the best, considering you're holding a bowl of ink.
Yeah, he would love to not spill this and make a mess in this very nice person's lab home. He's already, like, gone and inserted himself in this person's day enough. But he's walking, he's wandering, he's probably losing sight of Azure, he's looking around. What I'm saying is he's probably getting lost.
Not
that he notices.
Does he leave the workshop? You can say yes. I'll let you. You can...
I'm figuring, like, the most fascinating thing to him would be the workshop.
Yeah. That makes sense. With some of the devices that you're looking at now, since you've been in here for a decent amount of time, even though it is a 12, you've probably been looking around for a moment. a lot of these devices are, yes, they're very technical, but amidst some of them, you can see things that resemble like high-tech instruments. There's something that's guitar shaped over there. There's something that looks vaguely like a horn over here, but like a lot of them are only half assembled, but you can still definitely see those.
Huh. Yeah, he's just kind of looking at this and relating what little knowledge he has picked up from just watching Boomer to this, and again seeing like the different style. There's a clear theme also emerging with Azure stuff.
Yeah.
Instruments, music.
Yeah, check. Okay. Oh, we're good on time. We're so set on. Okay. At if you want to try to mess around with any of them, I'm not sure if that's something Gregory would do.
Uh, you know what? He might get a little bit curious with an instrument, something that looks sturdy. He doesn't want to like get close to anything that looks in a delicate state, let's say. But for a person who like plays no instruments whatsoever and probably has the voice of a dying crow when he sings.
So you can pick up something. I'll say, just for simplicity's sake, you pick up something. It's sort of like a guitar. It doesn't seem to have strings on it, which is odd. But there's like a pad near the bottom. You see a power switch. What looks like a power switch.
We're already here. Full dummy stupid. Flick the switch.
So it starts up. Where there would be strings, there are now thin things of light. You have a hard light guitar in your hands now.
Huh. Yeah, carefully just going to try plucking a string.
It, because you only have the one hand.
Yeah.
He
would have, like, set it down or leant against something to try that.
Yeah. But, you pluck the string, and you can... It's light, but it has weight in your hand. Like, you pluck the string, and feel your finger wrap around it, it snaps back into place. You can hear the twang it makes.
Huh.
It feels a little warm and fuzzy, but that's because, you're touching light.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this is pretty neat, especially since I think you'd be drawing, the similarities between, wow, hard light string, apparently hard light hand. This is the material.
Yep. I'm hearing the twang. I feel like Azure might look up, see what Craigory's doing, but Craigory's not breaking anything, so
He's trying to be careful. Listen.
And Azure's trying to finish a hand. When he goes back to what he was doing, it's like, where did I leave that? And he just kind of goes back to what he was doing. You can probably hear him at this point. He's shuffling around.
Sort of talk out loud thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craigory can relate on that.
He's looking for something, and he can't figure out where it is.
Well, Craigory doesn't think he'd be much help on that. He also doesn't know where anything is. But, I think he just if there's anything else on the guitar that catches his attention, he just kind of continues fiddling around with it, like, pokes at the different strings.
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually messed with an instrument before, really. Huh.
It doesn't have the same amount of strings as a guitar. I don't think Craigory would know this. It's a bass guitar. It has 4 strings. I don't think Craigory would recognize that.
No, he doesn't. He does not have the knowledge. You know, a
But there
banjo is a
is-
guitar, right?
God. But there is near the bottom, there's like a pad kind of thing. And if Craigory, because of course he's sitting down, but he moves his hand to that, um, and plucks a string, you move the pad, and you know how a guitar has like a wah lever thing?
Yeah.
The pad does that, but it's also different parts of it, because there's like sections. There's different other effects that you'd normally get from like an amp, but it's on the instrument now. There's like a wah bar, there's like a reverb thing, whatever.
Me, the musician, is appreciating this. Craigory, the annoying, is just like, yeah, it's an instrument.
Gregory picks up like a normal guitar and he's like, wait, where's all the things?
Yeah, exactly. Every normal guitars are going to be a disappointment now.
um, as he's fucking around with audio effects, I think Azure at this point would finally just like shoot up from digging around in a cabinet. It's like, oh, I left it over at his house. Gregory definitely hears that.
Yeah.
You want to go on an adventure for like 10 minutes?
You know what? Yeah, adventure time. It's already this kind of day.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, this won't take too long, and I figured, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you'd rather chill around my house. It's up to you.
no, I actually think I'd like to, yeah, no, I'll stick with you. He's going to try and put the guitar as he found it, you know, flick off the switch, just, he may be forgetting a thing or two and is messing around, but he's trying to just put it back as it was.
If you want to roll, you can try. I don't know what you'd roll for it, otherwise it's fine.
History? To remember what he just fucked with?
You can roll, you don't have to roll, it's up to you.
I'm gonna see if he beeps it.
Okay.
Fuck!
No. You drop it, something breaks off.
Fuck.
But you drop it and something breaks off. Azure looks over, but he doesn't seem at all upset.
That's great, because Craigory is frozen in place.
Oh, it's fine.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. And
I literally have two others of those. That one was in here because it needed a new battery.
Relaxes slightly and just, yeah, he's gonna nudge the piece that broke off over to him and just go, okay, cool, where are we going?
Fine. You just gotta follow me. Ready to hop in a teleportation circle?
Yeah.
It is another decent walk, and that's just because very large mansion, very large grounds. But you're near like the back part of the house now, and it sure is a teleportation room. There's the circle in center, glows blue, as you probably expected from this.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to crouch down. The other one's in kind of a weird position.
Okay. So noted. Crouch down, still got the bowl. The
Yeah.
bowl's starting to get a little full. He's,
I remember Craigory was 6'2" now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to crouch.
How tall is Azure?
He's middling height, 5'8", 5'10"-ish.
Okay.
Average dude height. You step on the circle, it lights up, and you're very grateful Azure gave you that advice, because this teleportation circle comes out into, at one point was probably rather ornate, but now a lot of rocks have collapsed, like the wall has started to shift, Um, it's nowhere near as big. It's overgrown. And Azure just kind of steps out. Come on, then. Need to grab. And he just kind of trails off and starts heading out.
Yeah, Craigory will follow him. He
You're
doesn't
in the
know where
woods.
they've gone. He's just going to
You're in
stick
the
with this
woods.
guy.
You're in the woods. now.
Oh. Azure might not notice this. Azure's on a mission, but Craigory relaxes quite a bit, actually.
I assume Craigory's, like, he's familiar with wandering around in the wilderness.
Yeah, he's also dumping out the bowl.
Probably for the best.
He's not an Azure specimen. The bowl is now empty. That's good.
There might have been a path here at one point, but you're in the woods right now. Azure isn't exactly hard to spot, considering bright blue still, blue and white. It is still morning. You can see him very clearly. However, unlike actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the same gag twice. You walk for a hot second, and again, house pops in middle of nowhere.
Suddenly, house.
Yep. This one is also huge, but it's of a much different design. You can roll perception here too, as well. What is that?
Take another 12.
Whoa, 12 be upon ye. So you come up here, and this is a much older looking house. There are parts of it that have plant life starting to grow up the side of it. There's, you think the wood has kind of, not like, you can tell, like, it's not, like, severely bent, but you just looking at it, you can tell, oh, this is, like, a really old house, because the wood's, like, ever so slightly just kind of, like, warped outward or whatever.
Yeah. Furry.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
Fuzzy.
Like, it's still solid, it's just, the shape is ever so slightly different. You can gather this is probably better than what it used to look like. Anyway, Azure just walks up to the front door and just walks in. It doesn't appear to be locked.
Yeah. So, did you used to live here?
Oh, this is my uncle's house. I come by here every so often. We found the circle just kind of exploring the grounds. I got someone to set up another side of my house. He doesn't visit me as often, but I come by. If you're ever in the area, you can just go to his house. Just tell him I sent you. He looks intimidating. He's not. Like I said, just tell him I sent you. You can come to this house at any point, Bill. It's fine.
Craigory kind of nods, just like an acknowledgement, but like internally he's thinking, oh, no way am I showing up to anywhere unannounced.
You could try to roll insight on him. You don't have to, but I'm telling you, he's being genuine, so.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, he's being genuine. Like,
yeah, at this point he doesn't doubt that.
Yeah.
Craigory just doesn't think he'd take up like, oh yeah, hello stranger who is apparently supposed to be intimidating. Your nephew sent me just like for hanging out?
Azure specifically, like, if you ever need a place to stay, there's so many empty rooms in here, pick one, it's fine.
Well, useful information, tucking that away.
Yeah, now that you're inside the house, when Azure mentioned there's a lot of empty rooms, wow, they're, like, this is what you do, this is probably what Craigory would expect from a mansion. Very old, very ornate, there's a lot of, Like there's wood carvings. There was the chandelier, obviously. Um, but as you walk through the halls, there's not a lot in here. Like, yes, it's furnished, but also it doesn't really look lived in, per se.
Yeah, he's finding that a little weird. But also, the last mansion in the woods he was in was falling apart and being eaten by Jello, so, this is improvement.
Uh,
Structurally sound.
um. Anyway, you come into like a living room type area. There's a large stone fireplace, and sofas around it. Um, Azure tells you you can wait right here. Uh, I think my uncle should still be out at the moment, so it'll only take a second. And he goes up a large staircase and kind of disappears around a corner. Does Craigory try to snoop around in this house?
Yes, he does.
Oh boy. Um. So you're in like the main living room. There's like three branching areas. One leads to you can see through the doorway. There's no door here. That's just a kitchen. Um, and there's like another area that leads to like a back hallway.
He's gonna check out the kitchen.
The kitchen. All right.
If people are living here, then there's got to be evidence of stuff going on in here, and just also kitchens. He does like cooking. He's not good at it.
So you go into the kitchen. There's like a large. You go into the kitchen. You can see a doorway to a dining room. But there's like another counter that's been set up in the kitchen that you can eat at as well. Should you choose? There's like stools and things. You can see that there is like words. I have to space in my head. There is one stool that has been, you can tell that it's been used a lot more often than the others. So there's at least some evidence of, people being here. But other than that, there's not a lot left. Everything is very neat and tidy.
Yeah. Craigory will take that as a sign of life versus just like, dusty disarray,
Yeah.
Someone organized this.
There is like a tad of dust, but it's like on the top of the cabinets or whatever. Just places dust naturally collects, regardless of whether you live in here or not. Yeah, you can tell. Like, there's a few. You can't really see much out, but like the cabinets are very clearly like they've frequently been used. You can see the chair. You can see all this kind of stuff. You also probably hear thunk from upstairs, but nothing else happens.
He's fine. He's fine.
Don't
worry about it. But yeah, I think Craig would move on to kind of the back hallway you mentioned.
Yeah. So this is it's a long hallway. Now that you're looking at it, it's just a straight hallway, and there's a lot of side rooms. There's a lot to the left. For where you are right now, you're actually there's a window. You can see outside, backyard. I say yard. It's just more woods. You can, however, see there's like an actual path, really new, but it leads somewhere. Other than that, there's just a lot of rooms.
He's gonna try a door or two.
They're open. You go into one, and when Azure said, there's a lot of empty rooms. This one has like a few boxes in it, but the like old pieces of furniture that you can tell haven't been used, but there's nothing much else in here.
It's a big place for the implied one person Azure was talking about.
Sure is. And if he starts to go down like door to door in this hallway, like there's this one boxes in it. You go in another one that has like an old bed or whatever that didn't fit in the last room. But once you start to get to the end of the hallway, they're just straight up empty. If Craigory goes the entire length of the hallway, I'm not sure if he would.
You know what? He'd end up doing that.
Alright, yeah. You just see, there's just a bunch of rooms. Like, once you start to get to, like, the third empty room, you can kind of gather the gist.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, worth peeking into all. You never know what you might miss.
That's...
Yeah. Reaches the end of the hallway, that's... Alright, empty rooms.
Yep.
Exactly as Azure said.
Who's back? There's a closet, from where you came in, that was just at the back side. You can try that door.
Yeah, he will.
However, unlike all the others, this one is locked.
Entrust activated.
Are you trying to do anything to the door?
Well, Craigory does not have Thieves' Tools proficiency, let alone Thieves' Tools at all officially. But he might try to pull some out of Hammerspace. He probably has the vague theory down. I
believe Craigory found Thieves' Tools at some point on his journey.
Yeah, he's picked them up. He's maybe tried it a few times. Varied success.
You could roll Hammerspace.
Yeah, he's gonna try pulling some out of there. Alright.
It's a 2.
And it's Dex modifier for that.
Yep, it's Dex.
And yeah, sleight of hand, +2. Ha! This is about what I expected.
No. You try to pick the lock, no. Especially one-handed.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the other factor.
Especially one-handed, you can't figure out how to hold both of the...
He's like trying to hold the other in his like teeth.
Yeah, you can't figure it out. I feel like at this point Azure's probably done. It probably took you a hot second.
He's just like, oh shit, this looks really bad.
Yeah, Azure comes downstairs, he notices you, he doesn't seem terribly upset. Honestly, he probably just kind of laughs. Because Craigory's, it's probably a weird position.
He looks a little silly.
Yeah. He starts laughing for just a second. I found what I was looking for. What? Can I ask what you're doing?
Just kind of spits the tool out into his hand.
Let me help you. Oh, I thought he spit it on the floor.
Oh.
Like Azure was gonna get it done. This is... I'm not gonna shout at you for trying to fix the door. I am just gonna tell you, if my uncle were here, he'd I'm not gonna elaborate. No, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. The point is, stay out of that room. Just, please.
Yeah, okay, noted. He picks up the implicit I'd get my teeth kicked in.
Yeah. But at this point, Azure holds up, anyway, I found what I was looking for. He holds it up. Craigory, you have no idea what the fuck this is.
It sure looks like a thing.
It sure is a tool. What does it do? You don't have any fucking idea. Anyway, we can leave now.
Alright.
You were back here, did you remember, I figured you saw them if you were in the hallway. All those empty rooms, like I said, if you ever need somewhere to stay, just tell him I sent you. You can just pick one, it's fine.
And, where exactly is here?
Oh,
I don't think it's anywhere near I know because I feel like I would have come across a big old mansion when I was growing up.
Uh, what was the name of this place? Uh, um, we should be outside of town, like a decent chunk, because it takes him like a solid. It's a solid trek to get to like the road. Hmm. I'll have to get you a map or something if you really care. Anyway,
Hmm.
uh, he he leads you out. He shuts the front door. Again, it not locked. Um,
Krieger's just quietly going to himself, well, I'm never finding this place again.
you never know. Um, and he just takes you back to where you came from. Teleportation circle. You have to duck to get.
Shwoop. Right before he goes in, he also dumps the bowl empty again.
Again. We come back in.
Yeah.
It's Craigory. You want to make another whiz save? Well, you're not expecting this one. Again, you come back and the music is very, very loud.
Oh God.
All of a sudden. Like, you were just in the woods, everything was, like, deathly quiet, like an empty, kind of spooky mansion, and now you're back and there's electronic music blaring.
It's a good thing he emptied the bowl because he fumbles it, doesn't drop it, but he would have spilt, innard ink.
Oh, sorry, man.
That,
Just kind of let it play, you know.
it's fine, it's your house. Just startled me.
Hey, come on, let's get you a hand. And at this point, we'll just cut back to the workshop, and with his newfound tool, he is able to fit something for Craigory. And as what he does is he ends up like eventually. There's the emitter that he had earlier, and it's been all connected into everything. And it has like an extra, like it sticks down further to fully envelop his arm instead of just being like a ring thing. So it takes up a decent chunk of space because Craigory's specific injury is like fading.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not like a hard cutoff point. Like it has to fully cover all of it.
Yeah.
And he slides that on, and the thing itself has like a strap thing attached to it. So he has to wrap that around Craigory's arm. You have like an extra chunky thing. It's just like a black box, which also he has to strap on, and that's all connected. And he's holding the emitter, and he tells Craigory, alright, you might feel a jolt, and I'll have you make a con save to see how bad that ends up being.
Oh, excellent.
Should you choose?
Oh, I'm doing it.
Oh boy. Whoa, 12 be upon you.
12, 12, 12, or 12. This is the game of 12s. He feels it.
Yeah. You definitely feel it. So what you feel is, how your outline, like, fades? You feel like a snap as your fading outline connects to something. With a 12, I feel like it probably hurts a little bit.
It's like a sharp sting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You can feel, the color, like, normally that just, like, drips from your arm. You can feel it kind of spread into the, like, cover. And Azure goes to like the black box thing, and on the side there's a switch, and you flex it in there, and there's a blue hand pops in.
It's all new and strange and kind of clunky and a lot, but I think
Um,
Azure would see, despite the extra stuff strapped on, it's like a weight has been lifted off Craigory's shoulders.
yeah. Um, I will say, um, it's not like Craigory's hand. Like it's just generic hand design almost. It almost looks like a real
Mm-hmm.
kind of hand. Like the way it's shaped or whatever. But you move it around and it moves as a hand would. There's
It,
like if you feel like a slight bit of disconnect, but it's
they're like
still
lag.
not lag. It's just that like uh for- like like you're playing a VR game and you like have to touch your controller to move your hand in game. Like it's
Mm,
not a lag per se, but there's like it's not quite your own hand, you
yeah,
know? Um like it moves how you want it to, though. Um
sure does.
as you're probably the bowl you were holding, he just kind of slides it over. See if you catch it with your new hand.
Uh,
I mean, you
should
don't have to
he
make it.
roll to see if he can, if he manages?
Uh, um, mm, I mean, I can have you roll dex, but I will say it's not gonna spill.
Yeah. This is more just like Craigory's reaction time.
Yeah. Another 12. Yeah. It takes you a second because you're like, wait, do I have this in like instinct? But you fumble around for a sec. And he slides the bowl over the table, and you move your new hand in the way. It stops it. Um, as with before, there's that slight bit of disconnect. Like there's a bowl in your hand, but it's not quite. You don't quite feel it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, how does Craigory feel?
It'll take some getting used to, but Craigory feels relief because this is something that ironically isn't his, which makes him feel better.
I, if you come back at some point, I'll probably contact you or whatever. I can get you something better. This is just stopgap.
Yeah.
When you want something more personalized, something that like actually feels like you, it takes a lot more finagling and specific parts and all whatnot. But hopefully, this should serve you well for however long you need it.
Yeah, of course. I take you up on finagling, and like again, if you need any favors or help, things I can do.
I'm fine.
If you change your mind, offers open.
You last like soft laugh kind of thing, but if you ever have any issues, you can come back. I'll let you in. If you ever want to come by and party.
There's a slightly doubtful look on Craigory's face. He's like, maybe.
I host them every so often.
Yeah, no, like offense to you. Just it sounds like it'd be loud in a lot of people. I'm still getting used to just like regular. I've just gotten used to regular Toontown hustle and bustle.
That's fair.
Didn't
You
grow
don't
up with people.
That's fine. You don't have to come. Just an offer. Anyway, um, uh, shits
Would
and
you
giggles,
like
what-
Craigory to roll another history with Azure
Yeah, that's
talking
what I was-
about parties?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be. So I won't be doing one too recently. I got something else I can do, but you know. Whatever. 14.
It's not a 12.
Not a 12. That is true.
It's 14. There's still
You're
something
looking at-
twigging. It's like Craigory
Yeah.
feels like he should be getting something, which is
Yep.
it's on the tip of his tongue.
Like, it super is, especially because he just mentioned he's got something else to do that's coming up. Like,
You mentioned like events.
yeah, it's super on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite get it. There's nothing else. I'll see you out.
Sure. Thanks again a lot.
No problem. As we leave, you can roll perception.
Gladly.
Like, he leads you down.
Fucking hell.
We close this out with another 12. So Azure, he leads you down the way, he shuts the gate, everything. Nothing else. So Craigory, like, as you leave, you're just looking at your new hand. Wow, like, damn, you've got a hand now. So
Whole different hand.
Yep. As Craigory is walking along, he's fiddling with a hand, and the camera kind of hands up, and you in the audience see a billboard advertising an upcoming show for the musician Azure. He's got an upcoming show, but Craigory does not seem to notice. He's busy looking down.
Nope, not today. This is gonna be like in a few days or something. It's just gonna be like, wait, what the shit?
But but yeah, if you have nothing else you want to mention, then we can close it out there.
I think just as a closing stinger, yeah, pulls the glove out of Hammerspace again just to like look at it. It seems like he's thinking about whether to keep it or throw it out. But he ends up deciding to keep it. Stuffs it, yeah, back up the sleeve. You know, he doesn't like to use it anymore, but backups are good even if they're backups that can be hijacked. So
Yeah.
that's that.
With that, we can end the recording.
Woohoo.
Bye.
Bye.